I was thinking about the non-seriousness of life. People get so caught up in their stories. People get so caught up in dream, not realizing that things are simply happening. And then most people just stay caught up in it. And this character, when you get upset, when you start longing for something, when you want something, suddenly you attract more want, more longing. And sometimes it's good to make fun of yourself in life. I was just talking to a really close friend of mine from Switzerland, and we haven't spoken in a while. And I was talking to her, and she and I were just laughing about life. She'll say, "You're right," and I'll say, "There's no right or wrong." I'll say something, and she'll be like, "It's not real. It's an illusion." And this is why it's important to have a close circle. It's important to have a community, a tribe. It's important to remind yourself by being with people that are not only on your path, but they get it. She was telling me that something she experienced, something she went through, and I practically was finishing her sentences for her. And I could feel that she was just relaxed. And there was this sigh that came out of her, and she said, "You know what? I am so happy we're talking right now. I am so happy you just get it." I was like, well, of course. You do this long enough. You think about it long enough. You talk about it long enough. You do enough research. You go down the particular rabbit holes. And you go from understanding to believing to different way of behaving until you finally get to a place where you're just being it. You are it. And when you get to that place, you stop getting the very, very high highs and the low lows. You don't get sick anymore from retreats. You don't get sick from very strong mystical experiences anymore. Because not only your nervous system has upgraded, but you have found the new high level, the new equilibrium, the new dominant vibration, the frequency, where these beautiful experiences are just an everyday thing now, right? We were discussing point of views from duality versus non-duality, right? This existence that we have, it's just God playing with itself, right? Just experiencing itself. Things are just happening, and we think we're making decisions. Sometimes, what if you never have made a single decision ever, and you just think you have? Something happens, and you think it was you who did it. What if you have never done anything? Something happens inside of you, and you go to the kitchen and you just drink water, and you think you're the one doing this, right? I've gotten to a place where something in me says, let's go to Texas. And while I was packing, and then I was moving, and then I'm driving to Texas. By the way, guys, Texas is gorgeous. It's beautiful. So big, so clean, so beautiful. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have a good time here. So I moved to Texas, and after I moved here, I'm looking for reasons for why I moved here. But then from an observer standpoint, something that you can get really good at, you do this work long enough, where you understand that things are simply happening. And when you attach a meaning to it, when you attach a definition to anything, now it is not only affecting you in a particular way based on your meaning and definition, but your meaning and definition are now creating a story that you can now get caught up on with this narrative, with this character. And everybody's doing that. Everybody's creating a movie, creating a story, writing a script as they go along. But then there are people, the masters, that have completely disconnected from establishing a story, writing the script. They understand that things are simply happening. You don't have to create a story. You don't have to write a script. And the more you do that, the more you get to the desirelessness state where the universe will take care of you, obviously. The universe will always take care of you. Unless you stop it. Unless you push it away, unless you tell yourself a particular story where what the universe wants to do for you, you are no longer in the state of allowing for it to come to you. Instead, you're now manipulating, you're now messing with the design and unfolding of life. And whenever you mess with anything, such as life and existence itself, you are making a perfect system into an imperfect system. And what happens then is the chaos that we experience in the world, where everyone thinks that they have some level of control on the unfolding of life, and we really don't. That's why diseases come to us, heartbreaks, everything. Well, technically nothing is happening to you, but your perception is going from a perfect level of unfolding of life to a whole lot of mess. You know, Michael Singer's entire life was a surrender where he didn't make any decisions, pretty much. He just went with the flow of life, and things were just happening to him, and he was in the state of allowing, where he let it all just happen, and his books were written. Remember when he used to go to lectures, he would not think about what he didn't even used to think about what he's going to talk about. He was probably the only professor on that campus with no syllabus, no structure. He would just go with stillness in mind. He would go with the present moment, and something will just flow through you, because when you're in flow state, the higher mind is now active. Your higher self can come through you. Higher self is infinite mind. Your brain and ego is a finite mind, right? So you have a finite mind and you have an infinite mind. And when you stay in the state of flow, when you don't tell yourself stories, when you don't get caught up into things, you're suddenly not only not taking life not serious, you have complete trust on your higher self. Your higher self knows why you're here. And if you stay in the state of flow long enough, everything around you will just unfold just the way it should, and you actually start fulfilling the contracts that you have made, which is the whole reason why you're here, for a particular contract. But because you don't know what it is, the only way for you to let the life unfold through a flow state, so that you get closer and closer to fulfilling that contract. And how do you know you're doing that right? It feels really good. You know, Bashar says, when you're not feeling good, that is a sign of misalignment to your higher mind, to your higher self, to your soul. Things are not supposed to feel bad unless you want them to, unless you want to experience it. It's just causes, when you cause resistance, when you think you're so smart that you're going to figure life out, guess what? You're in the way of unfolding of life. And that's where you just mess things up. Dr. Joe never planned on writing books. He never planned on doing retreats. I never planned on having a YouTube channel. I never planned on doing what I'm doing. People that are working with me, my team, everything is unfolding perfectly. They just showed up. They found me. How are we unfolding? How are we creating newer and newer things for the community? I don't know. Things are just happening. Michael Singer did the same thing. Yogananda did the same thing. I've been doing over and over a deeper dive into the law of one. I'm going to talk about that, including during the Q&As and the next retreat, which is going to be second weekend of January. Is going to be the next retreat, I believe. Yeah. So don't take life seriously. Nobody has ever hurt your feelings. Nobody has ever betrayed you. It's all an illusion. None of it is real. Nobody has ever lied to you. Nobody has ever hurt your feelings. It's just you doing it to you. You getting in the way, and then you're messing things up in life. And the less serious you take those things, the more they will disappear. Because your natural state of frequency is high, very high. You're a very high vibrational being. And then when you contract yourself, you lower your frequency. And when you lower your frequency, you become more matter, less light. Your light body sort of separates itself from you, or you don't have access to it anymore. It's always there. But when you contract into your center of being, that's where the character of yours sort of acts like it's controlling everything. And that's when you mess things up for yourself. Stop contracting. Relax into things. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to do. There's no one to be. Everything will be so smooth for you. I go through those things too. Sometimes your old personality creeps in, right? The old programming can creep in, and suddenly it starts to show you that there's still a little bit more to let go. There's a little bit more to release. There's a little bit more to overcome. There's a little more to surrender. So when something happens that is less than ideal, think of it as a sign. Think of it as, hey, something else just emerged. Something else just showed up that I need to overcome. Let go of, accept, give love to, and liberate myself from. And the more you do that, the less matter you become, the more light body you become. Have you ever had meditation? If you go into a very flow state, in a very deep meditation, you feel like you're walking, but you can't feel your steps on the floor. You feel like you're floating. Do you ever randomly start to feel like you're turning into a wave? That's when you let go and let go and let go, and you surrender and you surrender and you surrender, and your frequency is increasing. You're becoming more light body. You're activating your light body while merging with it. You're reaching out to it. You're getting access to it. Tell me your thoughts. Ask me questions. I think there's a lot more that I want to talk about this particular topic, but I want to merge it with some questions. So let me know, guys. All right. Keep doing the work. Love you.